can't believe anyone would pay all that money to play board games.
Each to their own.
Yeah.
So I just got back from Dice Tower West, had a great time. I was struggling a little bit to figure out what I wanted to do with this video, because like when I got home, I was looking through the footage and I'm like, I'm not really telling much of a story here. And I was thinking maybe I could do like a vlog where I'm just talking about the weekend's events and all the different things that happened. This year, I tried to be more intentional about recording different things. And so I wanted to make a video like this where if you've never been to Dice Tower West, or if you've never been to any convention, this would be like kind of an experience. I haven't seen very many videos out there of like the experience of a convention, and especially because Dice Tower West I go every year. This is my 5th year since they turned it from MeepleCon to Dice Tower West. It's my favorite convention, and strangely enough, it's because you get to play a bunch of games. Like the library is so massive, you have access to so many different games, some of them being these ones here. I checked out Bomb Busters, Mistborn, and I picked up Slay the Spire. These are some of my favorite games from the convention, so we'll take a look at those. I'm gonna take these games to the studio, so come on. So I've been to a bunch of game conventions. Let's see, KublaCon, which is in San Francisco, Gen Con, which is in Indy. I mean, if you don't know what Gen Con is. And then also Dice Tower West, and by far, Dice Tower West is my favorite convention. They just have so much gaming space, and the library is huge. The coolest thing is like the hot games area, where they just have 20-ish games all set up, ready for just people to sit down and start playing. But they have a huge library, just so many different games, from brand new all the way to super old, super rare games that you can't find, games that you would want to try before you buy them. You know, you get those games where you play maybe once a year. This would be a perfect place to play that game, and you don't have to buy it. This is Bomb Busters, by the way. One of the games that I ended up playing there at the Hop Games area. I just sat down with a couple guys. Oh man, if I can remember their names. Good group of guys, 3 of them. We played Bomb Busters on the hard. I sat down at the very last, I think it's level 8, where there's 8 like beginner missions to kind of learn the nuances of the game, the rules, and all the little intricacies. In each stage they introduce a new thing, and I sat down with them at stage 8. I was like, yeah, I could do this. I think we lost the first time, but the second time we ended up winning, so they were really cool. This was by far my favorite game of Dice Tower West. It's kind of like a deduction game where, kind of like Hanabi, where you have pieces in front of you, which are these little wires, and you're trying to defuse a bomb collectively. You're guessing other people's fuses, and you're not sure what number they have. They all have these different numbers, but there's also yellow numbers, which are halves. Apparently there's 66 missions, so we did 8 of them, which you stick your little fuses in. But yeah, that's Bomb Busters. They say, you know, Gen Con, you go to purchase new games and experience all the new stuff, right? Like GDC, you're able to go and see all the new stuff come out. But Dice Tower West, they have kind of a smaller vendors area. They're really picky about who they add to their vendors area. A good little mix of like crafts with gaming accessories, and Slay the Spire was there. And then they have a huge all play section, which I guess they're sponsored by All Play, so they have a huge all play section. I was able to pick up Mountain Goats in the little expansion that it came with. But anyway, this was Mistborn. I wasn't able to get a chance to play it. This was also on the Hot Games tables. Actually, all 3 of these games were at the Hot Games tables. I was not able to play this. A friend got to play this, and he said I would love this game, and I don't doubt his opinion. It's another game by John DeClaire, which he was there. I said hello, and I was hoping to get this game at Dice Tower West. I wasn't able to find it to purchase it, right? But yeah, this is Mistborn. It's a kind of deck building game where you're fighting against each other, King of Tokyo style, where if you are the target, you're able to attack everybody at the table, but everybody at the table is also able to attack you, and you're building a deck, and you're summoning stuff. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what he was able to explain to me. It was set up on the table. I mean, I could not play it because there was so many people, one after the other. Groups were just like, they were texting each other, like kind of like at the arcade where you put a quarter next to indicate that you're the next player. Some people were like, oh, message me on the app and let me know when you're done so that we can come over and play after you. Another indicator of a friendly environment, right? That people are willing to kind of just let each other know and share each other's details. Yeah, letting you know when it's your turn next. I just thought that was kind of cool. It sucked for me because I wasn't able to schedule my time correctly, but I was also super busy just recording videos and stuff like that. I wish I could make my studio smell like this every time I enter. Oh, it smells so good. There's a lot of space in this box. It looks like you can definitely have a couple expansions in here. And I'm expecting lots of expansions, Mr. DeClaire.
Missing component.
So this is Potions of Azurland. In Potions of Azurland, you are a potion maker, as you might guess. The game works using an action prioritization mechanism. So each player is going to prioritize their actions each and every round. What you're going to be doing is brewing potions to sell to the wonderful people here coming to town. However, you can also choose to drink your potions, which is kind of unique, to give yourself powers and abilities. Game plays in about 60 to 90 minutes, 1 to 4 players, and it's a most points wins kind of game. So you can buy copies of our Kickstarter edition at warprealitygames.com and get it while supplies last.
Is an adaptation of the Eclipse Phase RPG, which we've published for 15 years. And this is just one slice of the universe. And in Scum, you play a member of the Scum faction, who are these freewheeling, hard-partying anarchists that are out in the outer system beyond the asteroid belt. Life is great out there. They're having a great time. And in the board game, you've discovered at the start that there's some kind of mastermind, either a hypercorp kind of CEO type or an oligarch who has had enough of your garbage and wants to blow up your entire swarm of ships and ruin your way of life. So you rally your other scum together and you work collectively to investigate and find out who the mastermind is and come up with a plan to stop them before the threats that they're sending out into your ships destroys the swarm. The game is competitive as well as cooperative because the game can beat you, so you have to work with your other players. However, if you beat the game, there can only be one winner. We're going to be kickstarting in 2 months.
So the game is For All Mankind. We describe it in a nutshell as being a bit like Catan in space with nukes. The planets are moving in the solar system throughout the game, so things are constantly changing. The strategic battlefield is always in flux. You're building colonies on the planets. Those colonies are generating resources for you. Use those resources to do all the stuff in the game. You can find it online at our website or on Amazon. It's also in a lot of retail stores in Seattle and Portland, and then sporadically at other places around the country.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Ready for sushi?
All you can eat.
Let's do it.
And now he's filming.
Another fun night at Dice Tower West with the homies. Big Jake, G Money. We made it to 3 a.m. Going Mimi's.
A little bit of help from the government.
So I was going through the vendors hall area, as I do, and looking around. I could not believe that they had a collector's edition of Slay the Spire. So this is the collector's edition, which isn't the Kickstarter version. It doesn't have like everything the Kickstarter offered. Apparently it doesn't have like the alternate art cards. It doesn't have, what else doesn't it have? I don't know. She mentioned a couple other things that were kind of, we don't need those. Ooh, look at these fancy coins. Nice and heavy, nice and chunky too. Everything's like labeled. If you haven't played Slay the Spire, it's kind of like a deck builder, another deck builder. Control of a character, and you get cards for that character when you level up and upgrade them. How cool is that? You're going through this kind of dungeon crawl where you take these spots here on the board and you flip over cards, and the cards are enemies that you have to defeat. So if you're playing with multiple players, you can fight off somebody else's enemies first before you fight your own, and vice versa. But you're also going through this map. There might be enemies, there might be different events, there might be a marketplace, maybe some elite mobs, and then all the way at the top, a boss mob. And then you play through this 3 times. The entire bottom half is cards and sleeves. So you just have hundreds of these, hundreds of sleeves. And you need the sleeves because the cards are reversible, or double-sided, with one side being a basic version and then the other side being an upgraded version. And so you're able to upgrade your cards over the course of the game. And what I really love about Slay the Spire is that certain deck builders, right, you go through and you maybe shuffle your deck maybe 3, 4, 5 times. This one here, every monster you're shuffling your deck, adding new cards every single turn. I think I put 100 hours, maybe 200 hours on the app. And so, yeah, getting to play this with other people now, it's going to be so much fun. So I went to Dice Tower West with the hopes of recording a bunch of stuff. One of the ideas that I had was board game trivia reels that I wanted to do. And so I wanted to do some with like random people, but I was so nervous. So I just kind of sat back and I asked my friends to do them. I didn't know what to give out at the end. I was like, do I give you a prize? Do I give you money? What do I do? I should have been more like upfront and just kind of like fun with it, but I don't know. I was just overthinking it too much. But anyways, I did a couple reels with my friends, and then I did one with a random stranger, and he was super cool about it. But I went up to the Dice Tower guys. I was thinking, man, this would be perfect to get one of them on. And so I went up to the Dice Tower booth, and I saw Mike DeLisio there, and I went over and I was like, oh, okay, I just got to do it. I just got to do it. So I went over there and I asked him, hey, you don't know me, but blah, blah, blah. Can you do a reel with me? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever, let's do it. And I was like, all right, I'm super nervous. Just, I'm super nervous. You know, I didn't know like how to start the video or how to end the video. It was just kind of like, I know what to do in the middle, but to think about the beginning and the end was kind of, you have to be really intentional. Like, oh, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. And these are my lines and this is how it's going to turn out. You got to have vision before you go into the things like this. And so I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. And so I set my camera down and I had my phone out and I was like, okay, all right, Mike, you ready? This is what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right, cool. So I asked him a bunch of questions. Good conversation. We were back and forth and having a lot of fun. I don't think he'll remember it, but I remember it. I will remember it forever, because at the end of it, I was like, all right, cool. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for everything. And I look at my phone, or I look at my camera, and I was not recording. I missed the recording. I was so nervous and trying to figure out, oh, do I hold this and I hold that, and I'm talking to him and what am I going to say? I totally forgot to press record, and I was so bummed. So Mike, if you're watching this, sorry, man, I forgot to press record. We're gonna have to do it next year. But I was able to get Chris Yee. He was sitting right next to us. I was able to do one with him, and it came out pretty good. I think it came out pretty good. And it was fun little experiment to do. But gotta remember to press record. They also have some panels for shows there. The lady that made Rock Hard was there, and she was talking about a whole bunch of stuff. There's a newcomers panel where you're able to ask Tom and Tim different questions about Dice Tower West. Thinker Themer was there. There was a kind of like a mini promotional area for Manatee Sanctuary, and Banzinator was there hyping up that game. And that was a fun little event that you can go to. Free events, you know, you just walk in and if you want to be there, they were giving out free like little snacks and stuff like that. But yeah, cool little photo ops if you want to take photos, or they're just hyping up their game, promoting their game. The one thing that I missed from last year, which didn't end up showing up, was the game show. I'm not sure why they ended up scrapping that, but I didn't see it on the list of things. Maybe I must have missed it. I was looking for it, but I couldn't see it. But I did miss the game show. I wish that was there. Maybe they'll have that next year. Nice. So with that was my Dice Tower West experience. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. For me specifically, because I was, trying to record, and then I'm also a demoer. So my schedule is a little bit more complicated, but still was able to get a bunch of games played. Had an amazing time with my friends. Being away from home and having like undivided attention to games and creating content, and all of that was super fun. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. The culprit right there. There he is. He got busted. The bomb busted.
Close counsel, horseshoes, hand grenades, and apparently time bombs.